Okay, what's going on, man? So I posted earlier. I decided to do like a video fucking overview of it because it's easier for me to just talk about as I'm watching it. I have a lot of XP playing healers, multi-glad. I play all of the healers at about 21 to 2200 CR every season at least, and then my main I play usually a little bit higher. But so I have a lot of experience on all of them, just for my fucking resume. Anyway, that being said, we're all dog shit and we can all learn and get better at the game. Here we go. So here's your first mistake, man. You're playing Holy Priest DH into a Holy Paladin BM Hunter. This is one of the few comps I kind of like playing Holy Ward into because they don't have a reliable purge and you have a lot of purge protection. The only purge that they have is if the Paladin is Blood Elf and he just YOLO Blood Elves it off, which is incredibly unlikely. And even if he YOLO Blood Elves it, it's a 2-minute cooldown. He can't really do it very often. The Hunter has a purge. I'm not quite sure the cooldown on Trank Shot, but I know they can't spam it. I think it's like 10 or 15 seconds or something. So if he tries to get it off, it's a one-shot attempt. I know that with like Palm, Renew, Fortitude, you could even Power Word Shield yourself for the sake of purge protection. You can Holy Ward yourself and get a lot of value out of it against this kind of a comp because you have Hodges, Pet Stuns, and Traps all game long to avoid. On top of Fade and Death and Reverse, there's like no way you should ever get trapped or CC'd against this comp if you play properly with Holy Ward. But you're not playing Holy Ward, you're playing Divine Ascension, which is a major error because Divine Ascension doesn't get you anything against this. You have no value against this comp. Divine Ascension's good against the melee team that you feel like you're going to get trained on because it's hard surviving trains as a Holy Priest. So, like Windwalker, Warrior, you can fly spears, another DH, anything that's going to like just run you down the whole game and you need to create space. Divine Ascension's insanely good for that. But this, it's not because Hunters don't kill healers. Hunters kill DPS. They trap healers and they kill DPS 99.9% of the time. And even if he was trying to kill you, you're not the only thing you're avoiding is pet damage. He can still be kill shotting you while you're in the air, right? So like Divine Ascension is a really poor choice. So right off the bat, that's something you could have done differently. Cardinal Mending's a good choice in every game. Cardinal Mending's like infinitely better than Divine Ascension here, but I do think you play Holy Ward against this. That I would play Holy Ward against this. So
Okay.
here we go. I already see a mistake. Yeah. So all right. So here we go. So your Demon Hunter is playing Unbound Chaos. I can tell by the animation when he fell rushed. There's a special animation when you Unbound Chaos and you fell rush. He Immo Auras behind the pillar, which is fine because generally as Demon Hunter, your first global wants to be Immo Aura. And then he's trying to get over to the Hunter. All he needs to do is press Fellblade here. Fellblade gets him to the Hunter, gives him more Fury, and then he still has Unbound Chaos for damage. But right now he Immo Auras first global, which is fine. But then he fell rushes to get to the Hunter, and he wastes his Unbound Chaos. It doesn't even hit the pet. Like, it doesn't even hit the Hunter because he would have lost way more than 9% of his health. So he totally threw his Unbound Chaos away, which is like a really big, important damage button for Demon Hunter. Generally, against Hunters, I like to play Trail of Ruin because Trail of Ruin's an ability that you almost never play. But because Hunters are so mobile and you have to use so much of your mobility for actual mobility and not for damage like you could against a class that you don't have to chase as much, Trail of Ruin is generally a better choice for Demon Hunters because it's just more, it's damage that the Hunter can't avoid. You just press Blade Dance, if it hits him, the Trail of Ruin dot is up on him, and that way you can save Fell Rushes for actual mobility instead of damage. But Unbound Chaos is fine here. But I'm just saying that a lot of times against Hunters or one of the class, like Mages or another class, where Unbound Chaos you're chasing so much that you need you can't be holding on to Fell Rush charges for that Unbound Chaos, right? So that's the first mistake. He kind of just throws Unbound Chaos away.
I'm gonna retreat back in.
Okay, so here's his next mistake. He says, I'm going to retreat. I don't really understand why he's running here. The Hunter did just commit his offensive cooldown, but he started running before he committed that cooldown. So he Vengeful retreated and then Fell Rush behind the pillar. Now your Demon Hunter has 0 mobility. He has no Fell Rushes. He has no Vengeful retreat. And he's trying to kill Hunter. So like, I guess he can hope that the Hunter chases him here and runs to him, but he just wasted all his mobility for no reason. This is a very common, like, these are micro common Demon Hunter flaws where the difference between good and bad Demon Hunters, like how you use your mobility and when. Like, he just threw all his mobility away for no reason on top of like just wasting an Unbound Chaos charge, which is like a big part of his go when he Fell Eruption I-beams. So that's bad. Also, I see a lot of players run away a lot in this game, which is good it's the right thing to do in right situations. I think a lot of people see like double DPS and see like Rogue Mage run to the pillar all the fucking time, and they're like, "Wow, this is so unfair. Like maybe I should run more." But a lot of times they don't know when to run and how. Now is not the time for him to run. Like he needs to get pressure. He should already have feller upped it and been going. Like because they're gonna go soon, and you're gonna be behind, and then it's just so hard to catch up, especially against a BM hunter. Like you're on a very real timer against BM hunters. You need to win the game, and so he should have already gone. Like him running here when you're not in CC does nothing because it's not like you're waiting out DRs. He still hasn't feller upped at an I-beam. The hunter's not on any DRs. It's not like he's waiting for his damage to come back. He's just running away for no reason. So him running here is really bad because he's just what's he running from?
Just waiting for the.
Waiting for what? See, even he doesn't know what he's waiting for. He says, I'm waiting for, and then he doesn't say anything. It's fine. It's all good, man. So, okay, so you kind of bait the hunter behind the pillar. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but this is good because now the paladin's got to cross the map. His hunter's behind a pillar. He gets stunned behind a pillar. This is great. Good. Here comes the I-beam. Perfect. And then this is his next fucking mistake. I'm hunting. You have pressure. A hunt here would actually be good if you had no sack, turtle, and feign death to get through. This would be a great hunt. He does, though. The hunter didn't have the trinket for it. He just feigns it. Right? Feigned the whole thing, by the way. Feigned the initial damage and feigned the dot damage. So now that cooldown's completely thrown away. So that was the next mistake. You have some decent pressure here, though. Paladin's falling behind. Bugs his Divine Toll there. You see that? His Divine Toll bugged there. That actually is fucking tragic. He lined his own Divine Toll. Watch. He Divine Tolls, his health goes up 20%. Like, what? So he bugged his Divine Toll. Does he wings? Does he press wings? He has to press wings. Maybe he didn't bug. Maybe he just didn't wings it. I don't understand that play. You'd think he would wings Divine Toll there. Anyway. Here's your next mistake. You haven't really topped your... Let me see your globals, because I see you have Trophy GCD over there, so I can see your presses. So your Demon Hunter is like dying here, right? You're kind of you have some pressure here. You're being a little YOLO offensive because you have Serenity charges, which is totally fine. You're going for CC here, I guess. You're pushing in for a fear. You still you have to top your DH here, man. Like you have to.
There it is.
Like, okay, you Serenity him there, I guess, but like here's the thing. Like, so this is a lack of awareness. You have to understand what's about to happen. So there's a few things you do wrong here. You're pushing for a fear, you don't get it, which is, I mean, this would be a fine fear here because you have pressure. The fear wouldn't be bad, but you don't get the fear. You have to recover because you're about to sit CC for your whole fucking life. It's coming any second, and you're falling behind. You need to top your DH before you sit the CC because you're going to lose if you don't. And you kind of are still going for a fear. You get rooted here. You have time to top him. Like, you have more than enough time to, like, prayer mending, refresh this renew, and Serenity him, right?
There it is.
You get rooted, an obvious sign that you're about to get trapped. He's holding pet stun because he wants to use it on your DH, so he's trying to root you. He's trying to trap you off of a root, which is an insane mistake on his part because you don't do that to holy priests. Because any holy priest that's good at the game is never going to get CC'd here ever because you have so many ways to avoid it. So first sign that you're about to get trapped is the root. The second sign that you're about to get trapped is the hunter's body language. He starts moving in your direction. You see that? He's moving in your direction, then he throws the trap. You could have death this, and you could have faded this. Death is always a better option than fade if you can death it because you want to save fade for other things. Because you can't death Hodge, right? But you can fade Hodge. So you want to save fade for stuns, if possible, and then you want to death things like traps or a poly, right? You could fade poly, but like it's better to death it because now you still have fade for something that you can't death. So death is the button to press here. You don't press it. You also don't press fade. So you get trapped. Not the biggest deal in the world because your DH has reverse, but you could have saved reverse by just deathing on a 15-second cooldown. You could have death. DH end caps the pally here. I don't know if this is a defensive end cap. I don't know if he thinks that you're about to get Hodge and he's trying to stop the Hodge, or he's doing it because he thinks he has pressure. Either way, he end caps. It's a big end cap too, so I guess he's expecting a big end cap, which isn't really the worst play into Hunters because I like to. Generally, if my healer gets pet stunned, I like to end cap the hunter so he can't trap, and if he trinks it, I just insta-stun his trinket, and that way we avoid traps that way, and I still have reverse. He reverses, which is good. I mean, that's what he has to reverse here because you're falling behind. You still are going for a fear or something. Like, I don't really know what you're doing here. Like, you have no renew up on your DH. You have no prayer mending out. Permanting, is it off cooldown? It's off cooldown. I'm looking at it. You have a Serenity charge. I know you do, because all you've done is press 1 Serenity the whole game. Maledict is coming. You gotta kind of top your guy here. And you're still sort of looking for, you say you who did you chastise? Did you chastise the hunter? No. Oh, wait a second. Wait, what did you just do there? Chastise the hunter? Hold on, checking. So you chastised something there. I don't know what it was. Maybe you thought you were chastising the healer for CC. But he's playing big end cap, so with big end cap you can't. It's like Cyclone, right? You can't do anything to it because it's a big end cap. Also, you need to heal your damn DH, bro. Like, your demon has been dying the whole game, and you're still pushing for CC. You guys don't have pressure anymore. Like, this is like here's where you have to live, right? Like, this is their go, and you kind of had pressure for a brief moment, and you could have gotten a fear, but you didn't get the fear, and then you got trapped, and now you have to like kind of recover a little bit. Like he maledicts here, and your demon hunter double stuns to stop the maledict, which isn't a bad instinct, but it's a bad play for a multitude of reasons. A, you're not in CC. B, you have dispel. This is a terrible maledict from the hunter, and all he's doing by double stunning is resetting a DR that was about to reset. So now he's set even further back because he has Fell Eruption I-Beam any second now. It's definitely coming off cooldown again. So now he has to wait 22 seconds before he can Fell Eruption I-Beam. Or he can just YOLO I-Beam, I guess, but then I-Beam and Fell Eruption aren't lining up. So it's just like, this is a really bad stun from him because the instinct is good because he's trying to stop the maledict, but he doesn't need to because you're not in CC and you have Dispel. All you have to do is instant Dispel here, and I think you do. You just, oh, right, he stopped the maledict, and then you just Serenity through the maledict. So you didn't even Dispel it, you just were like, fuck it, I'm a Holy Priest, and I'll press Serenity. Still didn't top your guy, now you get Hodged. Here's the other fucking mistake. You're standing right next to this paladin, right? He's coming out of an end cap. I assume you wanna fear him here. I assume that's the play. But you don't fear him there, and all you're doing is putting yourself in a position to get Hodged for free. If you wanted to fear him here, standing next to the paladin to bait Hodge is a good play if you're gonna fade it. So when there was 1 second left on the end cap, just press fade. Send fade, and he hodges into the fade 100%, because that paladin knows you want to fear him. He's not stupid. You're standing right next to him. And he knows the only way he can stop the fear is to spam hodge, so he hodges you immediately out of the end cap. So you have to know that he knows that that's what you want to do, but you know that that's what he wants to do, so you fade it. So you're baiting hodge with fade, and then you just fear him in the fade. So you messed up here by just getting hodge for free for no reason.
Hush.
And you still didn't really top your demon hunter. Also, you have no serenity charges now, so now all you have is, so you're behind on your healing, right? You still don't have renew out. You still haven't pressed prayer mending. You're probably really behind on your serenity charges because you haven't pressed a single button that resets serenity. So I know you're fucked. So you have to apotheosis out of this because you have no healing. So you're just really behind. Also, your demon hunter still has every defensive in the game. He has darkness, blur, and nether, right? He needs to press something here, like right now. Because you're really behind, and he's dying. And he has every defensive, so just press blur here, right? Like, you need to send blur, and you kind of need to run. I know what the paladin's about to do. He's about to blind you. Like, whenever a paladin hodges you and stands next to you for, like, 3 seconds and doesn't do anything else and just stands there, like this guy's doing, guess what he's about to do? He's about to blind you. You need to communicate that to your demon hunter. He can't stop it anymore because he has no more buttons. He might have Fell Eruption at this point, and he can maybe stop it by Fell Erupting the Paladin, but this is 1600, and they have a lot of pressure. Paladin's 100% going to YOLO Trinket that and just blind. So there's nothing your Demon Hunter can do to stop the blind at this point. He needs to Trinket the stun and run. He needs to Trinket the stun and fucking haul ass, because you guys are in a lot of trouble right now. But he doesn't Trinket the stun. You guys get double blinded. Blind breaks instantly on the Demon Hunter, obviously, because he's still sitting this stun. Now you're in a full blind. You have Trinket. But the problem with you trinketing here is what the fuck are you going to do? You have 3 globals you have to press now. He's getting maledicted again. So you have to trinket, dispel, apotheosis before you can do anything. There's no way. He's dead. There's no way you're going to be... at this point, your trinket can't save him because you don't have anything to press. I guess you could GS and maybe the GS procs, but like that's fucked too. At this point, your Demon Hunter has to... he doesn't even have to trinket anymore. I mean, I'll give him this. He greeted trinket and he lived. He's alive. He has 3,000 health. He hasn't. Y'all haven't committed a single button yet. They've pressed every button in the game. They pressed a maledict. They pressed every CC they have, and you guys still haven't responded with anything. But you got away with it because he's playing Nether. All he has to do is press a Nether here, and all is forgiven. You guys get away with literally murder by making like 7 or 10, like 10 mistakes you made so far in this game, and you get away with it. He escapes the stun with full health. So now you've gotten through. He's not playing short Hodge, which is a mistake. So it's Hodge is a 1 minute cooldown, Blind's a 1.5 minute cooldown. The Hunter's committed his offensive cooldowns. They've committed both 3-minute maledicts. He's blinded. Like you've gotten through all of it. They don't have anything left anymore. Hunter doesn't have trinket. You guys are in like really good shape right now, like in insanely good shape. You could have gotten the Paladin's trinket too. If he had fell over to that Paladin, he would have trinketed to blind, and then you'd escaped. So you'd have had both trinkets. You haven't committed anything defensively, and he just presses Nether here, and you guys win the game.
Stunned here.
Nether? Like, why isn't he pressing any buttons? You guys, you're still in a blind. You cannot save him. There's a 0% chance you save him here. You can't dispel this Maledict and Apotheosis in time to heal him. The only person that can save this Demon Hunter is himself. He has to Nether, and he just doesn't. He chooses to try to like outrange the Maledict or something, and dies for it. So, a lot of mistakes were made this game. Like a ton of them. Like almost everything you guys did was bad. You almost did nothing good, which is totally okay, by the way, because I've been playing the game for a long time. I play the game at a pretty high level, and I often have games where all I do is fuck up. So it's just the nature of Arena. It's a lot easier for me to sit here and watch the game in slow motion and tell you everything you're doing wrong than to be able to identify it as you're playing, right? It's totally okay. But you can see when I go over it, like there's just almost everything you guys did was bad. But it all could have been forgiven with one press of Nether. Because he presses Nether, you come out of this blind, they have nothing for you off the blind, you dispel, you Apotheosis, you can even fucking GS Serenity him to full, and now he comes out of the Nether at full health, they have nothing left, they have trap in about 8 seconds, but they don't have a stun for it, so you can death or fate, they have no setup for that trap, right, because you're Holy Priest. They have to, if you're not going to stun a Holy Priest into a trap, you're asking to miss the trap, because you can just death it or fade it, right? And you have both of those off cooldown, because you still haven't pressed fade this game. So, and you have death, because you haven't pressed death either. So, that's this game. I'll go over the others, and I'll do that in a second. Cool. Awesome.